Okay, let's talk about this because we have to talk about this because you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about terrorism. Probably not going to see this video once it uploads because YouTube has a thing about channels that talk about this. And because this is a vlog channel, I'm going to talk about stuff like this because it's what I want to talk about. And there was a couple of incidents that have happened recently, some by Islamic terrorists because they are terrorists. One incident that happened in Manchester that happened at an Ariana Grande concert. The other incident that happened in London Bridge, where a group of individuals, Islamic extremists, aka terrorists, went and tried to kill a bunch of Londoners at London Bridge, I believe Borough Market, near the Borough Market area. Then an incident that happened recently where the media doesn't want to report it because, as far as they're concerned, this guy's just mentally ill. Went down in Finsbury Park outside a mosque and decided to mow down a bunch of Muslims, Islamics, as you put it. Now, myself, as I've said before, and I'm going to reiterate the fact, I am a agnostic. I believe there's something up there. I don't believe in organized religion. I think organized religion is a pile of trash. That's my opinion and my opinion alone. I do not force my beliefs on anyone, and I think anybody out there, you, your friends, your family, anybody, if you're a Mormon, if you're a freaking Islamist, if you're any sort of faith, Scientology, you name it, don't force your beliefs on someone else. So I'll make that clear right now. Now, the issue that's happening right now is that the gentleman involved in the Finsbury Park incident, and as you can see my kitten going behind the curtain there, decided, to do what he did as an act of terrorism. He wanted to show these Muslims what he could do. He wanted to go out there and he wanted to mow a bunch of Muslims down because that's what he believed in. It's the same with the incident that happened over in the United States where a certain individual who affiliated himself with the ideals of Bernie Sanders decided to go and shoot a bunch of politicians. It's terrorism. Now, what I want to do is get rid of the mysticism that terrorism equals brown skin. That terrorists and Islam are the same thing. They're not. Terrorists are individuals with a political belief or a viewpoint, whether it be religious, whether it be political, whether it be anything. They could believe, they could be flat earthers, they could believe in lizard people. It doesn't matter what their belief system is, but what they try to do is they try to use scare tactics and fear to make sure that their way is taken seriously, that their belief system is taken seriously by you, by me, by everybody else. This is what a terrorist is. And by going around, like the Daily Mail did, like the Sun newspaper does, like any paper owned by Rupert freaking Murdoch does, and say that these aren't terrorists, that because the color of your skin should define whether or not you are actually called a terrorist, you need freaking help. What needs to happen is, as people, we need to get together. We need to basically, you know, go out there and say enough is enough. There are Islamic individuals out there, heads of states, of churches, of mosques, who have stated that they do not condone the terrorist acts of others who basically say they share their belief system. And that's what needs to happen. But by picking and choosing due to someone's color of their skin and by the way that they are represented or their religious beliefs, how you use the word terrorism, you really should stop doing that. Because you are just condoning garbage people. Because they are garbage people. Anybody else who does that are garbage people. And these are garbage people. And I'm getting sick and tired of listening to people on the extreme left and on the extreme right argue over stupid kind of issues like this, when in the fact it's rather simple. These are terrorists. Doesn't matter what colour your skin is, doesn't matter how you look. This man went out there with the intention to harm a bunch of Muslims. He said it himself when he was being carried away by police. Yes, there was a bunch of people in Finsbury Park who tried to beat the living tar out of this guy, but the head imam told them to stop. He was the one who subdued this man and who held him until police got him. Because he knew that being that way by harming someone who tried to harm you, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help your argument, and all you are doing is showing that you are afraid of them. By laying your hand on someone and by justifying killing someone because they tried to hurt you isn't the way to go. I am trained myself. I've had military training. I've had, basically training in submission style wrestling. I've done MMA. I've had training in terms of security. And the one thing that's kind of the same thing with anything that you rather training, any fighting styles, what they tell you is you don't only use it as a last resort. Even Sun Tzu in The Art of War says that he believes that fighting, that action, happens as a last resort. That the main focus is on the dialogue, the communication. And that's the problem. People act before they actually try and understand. People use baseless information as a way to kind of go out there and justify their actions, because you can't justify these types of actions. And enough is enough. As me being the individual that I am, I'm not a pacifist, but in some ways I am. I don't try and use force and aggression as a way to cement my own ideals and values, because that won't help me in the long run. It doesn't help you. If you've got an argument to make, prove your points, use your sources, delegate, discuss, because it's the only way you're going to get your actions through so they can speak louder than your words. Show people that you practice the opinions and the belief system that you have, because that will help you in the long run. Now, the other thing I want to kind of carry over as a caveat to, like, kind of use this as a way to lead into the next subject, is the Greenfall incident that happened in Kensington and Chelsea. The Tory government right now have failed to handle the situation. They paid people who were injured, who lost their families, who need food and shelter, £10. The stuff that was donated to people have been left in warehouses, food, clothes, etc. People haven't had access to because our lovely government hasn't provided the resources to do so. And they're attempting to move these people out in Birmingham and other areas outside of London as kind of a way to tuck them away. It's not the way to be. Now, recently, on the other side of the fence, a Conservative MP was attacked by a bunch of individuals who were associated with the situation. And if you don't know what this situation is, a tower block that wasn't looked after properly, that had rules and legislation that could have helped, not passed by the Tory government because we had a Tory majority, basically went up in flames. And a lot of it was because of the cladding that they used to make it nice and presentable on the outside, went up in flames to the point people lost their homes. Over 100 people died. And they justify this by keeping their mouth shut, by standing there, as Theresa May did, in front of the fire people and in front of the police, and got pictures taken and did not say a word to any individual on site. As far as I'm concerned, they handled this very badly. And as far as I'm concerned, I think it's time for them to leave. Get out of government. We need to get a no confidence ruled over this Tory government now. They need out. I don't want them negotiating Brexit for us, but I don't condone violence. Do not go out there and beat the living tar out of someone because they are associated with a problem where they're trying to hide poor people and trying to hide what they did to these poor people. It can't happen. I've got cats in the background screaming and hissing at one another. But that's it from me, guys. I'm done. Violence and aggression is not the way. I'm going to go and handle that situation at the back. I thought I would do this video to talk and discuss. And if you're going to comment below, please do me a favour and actually comment and give me some discussion. Don't sit there and call me names because I have a different opinion and I have a different value system based to you. But I'm sick and tired of having people argue over gender. I'm sick and tired of people arguing over colour. I'm sick and tired of people arguing over race. I'm sick and tired of people arguing over religion. We've got more important things to deal with, and right now the situation that's happened with our current regime, our current government, shows more than ever that we need to stand together and we need to go out there and show these people that enough is enough. It's time for a change. And hopefully that change will come soon. Otherwise, we are screwed, because I don't understand how we're allowing these people to treat us this way. We voted. They didn't have a majority, but yet they're still there. And they're still causing harm. So that's it from me, guys. It's Michael Burhan. Very lovely saying to you that I've got gameplay. Have you?